Right, this is going to be the newest episode of Hot Take Point Made with the three amigos or whatever. You could figure it all out on that one. Huey, Louie, and Dewey or whatever they were called. You can keep going through how Harpo Marx, I didn't even know the other ones, Groucho Marx, Balkan Marx, whatever. You can figure it out. Right.
Just don't do three amigos, please. Yeah.
Someone had a really good name for us on the HLTV forums. I'm going to try to find it right now. Hold on. Just keep going.
This could be like iconic if it's good. If it is, right, we'll give rare credit to HLTV forums, which I think personally
No, it was something. It was insulting. It was like the delusional trio, but it was like a better play on words than that. It was really funny, actually. I laughed.
Because I will say, I have never understood that thing, right? Here's what's funny. Back in the day, I actually get why people used to go on 4chan. Because people were trolling there. Because you had to basically be anonymous, but it was a way to get away with saying outrageous opinions on the internet. You would actually get brilliant points there sometimes. Sometimes you could tell someone was like, like an economics major and he just had like a great theory he couldn't say otherwise, or someone would have something funny. I never see that on HLT. I don't even, like, to me, it's just like Twitch chat that goes way slower. That's, By the way, that's even a banging fucking line for the thing that you can call the forum there. It's just bad, isn't it? It's dog shit.
I don't want to acknowledge it too much, but I have gone on it a handful of times, is that the Counter-Strike esports thread on 4chan is incredibly funny. It is actually the funniest source of okay, like reading stuff about yourself online is something that is wholly detrimental to our own mental health. But reading stuff about other people that we know is just legitimately so freaking funny. Like, because it's just caricatures of what the fans think they know about people we actually know. Yeah. And then it's just, they'll come up with way funnier jokes there. They're way more unique. And it's not like, and also I think the problem with now Reddit for a long time and lately HLTV is that it's so, like, people just want to like pound the common narrative and say the thing that's like upvotes to the left, like the most upvoted thing. But 4chan has never had a problem with that, because it's actually unique thought, because they don't give a shit if
you don't
wrong.
Get anything for it. Yeah.
You only just want to make yourself laugh. So you actually just put the funniest shit out there. Yeah.
No,
they're better. They're actually better.
Agree. Right, okay. I actually think I've got a take to start off with, but I'm going to do it kassad style. Normally, I just lead with heat rocks all day long. I'm swinging for the fences on all of them, mate. I'm either striking out or I'm hitting homers out of the arena. I'm just waltzing, moonwalking around the diamond. I don't even fucking know the terminology, but that baseball square thing that they walk around. It's not cricket, is it? It's not cricket, gentlemen. Anyway, that's also a British saying if you don't know. Right, so what I'll say is I'll start with my medium take, though. But I actually think to some people this will be shocking. So right now, as we do this episode, PGL Bucharest is going on. And for whatever reason, PGL is the only tournament Astralis is capable of actually playing CS in for some reason. Spoiler, probably because the field's just not as good. And when I've been watching them, I know a lot of people have actually come around to my side on this detail about one of the players, but I want to go further. I've been watching, I even looked up the stats, and I've been thinking about the way their game works. And mate, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm going to make this take careful, because I do think when you have players like, the obvious name is Device, who is still good, but he's not at his peak, and he obviously was one of the greatest players. Like, he could actually have been the GOAT of CSGO, depending on how you break it down. I think in the current Astralis, for this year at least, with like this roster, man, I actually think I would say the best player in their role is Staehr. It's the guy that they just make do all the T-side entry work, like, which, by the way, in itself is not a compliment to Astralis, but it is a compliment to Staehr. So first of all, on the Astralis point, like, that is a terrible sign, because, spoiler, he isn't the Danish doc. This isn't like he's like, oh, and he's the best as well, but he must be like, fucking exertion or like peak. No. You all are fucking up. Like, by the way, if you're Staehr and Yabi listening to this, understand you are shitting the bed hard, because you have made this guy do like the hardest fucking T-side rolls in your team. And by the way, there are times where for real they are almost bordering on that, like, go first. I will trade you. And you don't, by the way, you're just abusively sending the guy in. But the guy fucking does work. And also, he's one of those people where you look on the player cams, you look at like his form in losses and wins. He doesn't seem to ever get fazed by them playing like badly or whatever. Like, this guy actually seems to have a really good mentality. And the reason I bring this up is because if you think about how politics work in esports, and by the way, especially in Astralis, if you think of the history of the team, actually, the problem in Astralis is they have one of the worst old school qualities that still remains, which is you get kicked pick based on your rep and your name, not based on whether you're the worst player. So I'm sorry, if you look at the names they have in their team, on paper, he is the name that is the smallest. He is the one without the reputation who hasn't done all the big things and won the championships and had the major runs. But I am not even joking. If they were to rebuild Astralis tomorrow, this is the first player you keep, by the way. I mean, by the way, especially because the device is old as fuck and he's all injured and shit. Like, who even knows his future? So I actually think in his role, Staehr is the best player in this team, mate. I want that to be partly a compliment to him. I actually think he's doing a great job. Like I said, I think in all senses, he also seems like a true professional. But I also think it's somewhat of an indictment of Astralis as a team to say that too.
But when you say that he's the best player in his role, like, what does that mean?
Are you having a fucking laugh? Do you know what a striker is in football, Kassad?
But he's best player. Is he the best player of the fucking team? That's what I'm asking. Is that what you're saying?
In their team, they presumably have 5 roles, right? He is the one doing. He is the one doing his role the best.
Yeah, between him and Device, he's a better entry. Like
no. Let me explain English to you, Kassad. He is a better entry than Device is an AWPer. Thank you for critiquing me on my own language. Shall I speak in your shit version of Russian that you pretend is your language? There you go. You want to get fucking personal, bitch? You like that? I am the best in my role on this show. God Horse Podcast.
What the fuck are you even saying? Like, he's the best in his role. Yeah, he's the best entry in the team of Astralis. Is he the best player in Astralis? That's what I'm asking you. Tell me. Is that what you're saying?
No, because it's like, the problem with that, that's why it's why I couched it like that the whole first 5 minutes, Maui. Like what I was trying to basically make the point here is, Kassad, if they all do their jobs, I was implying, then for a start off, by the way, like Device could be the best because he's an all-time great player. And you imagine if he's not like ill and he still wants to play, he could like grind and also he has the most powerful weapon, mate. Like it's just easier to be better and have stats. And then the other obvious person, like I pointed out why I'm dissing them, is mate, if you're Staehr, you also play the fucking bait role. You know when everyone tells me blame F just baits. Staehr, you can't bait and get those numbers, mate. I've seen you try it and you're just not getting those numbers. So in a way, Kassad, I know what you mean to clarify, but yes, he is the best in the sense that in his job, he is doing the best. And right now,
valuable, yeah.
Yes, and right, put it this way, today, if you ask me today, he is the best player in Astralis. But my point is, if you were like asking like over the whole time they had the roster, or if you were making a team tomorrow, someone else might pick Device if he was super motivated, or if they had a different player, they might pick Staehr to go with him. But so I can answer yes to both, but I'm specifically making it relative to his role because I actually think most people look at him kind of like I described, like he's just the guy they picked up at the end when they had all the other stars and it wasn't working. And if you can tell, I'm almost here's another point, Kassad. I'm almost certain this isn't the role he would pick. Like I'm almost certain this is the sort of guy that actually should probably be more like the Aleksandar playmaker with someone else go first, then he comes in and cleans up all the... Like I think he could be a star in a different team, mate. On this team, I think it's impossible the roles he has. So basically, I think he does the best he possibly could with his roles. I think his team's scuffed, and I think most players in his team are actually underperforming. Maybe Device only a little bit, but the rest of it, I think, are massively underperforming. So in a way, he's the best, but I also think he's the best at his role in the team.
Okay.
Oh wait, I actually know what you mean. I actually know now, Maui, why it's literally an English language thing. But I'm not in a troll way. He thinks when I say the best at his role that the others are trying to do his fucking role, Maui. That's actually what Kassad took from that. He doesn't know that I mean like if he's an entry, he is fucking hell. He's the best at his role relative to the scene in Astralis. Do you get that, Kassad? As in, Device isn't as good as Zimu, is he? Staehr actually is Staehr is closer to Dom than Device is to Zimu. There you go.
Yes, I get it.
There you go.
The thing is, like,
your problem is you have the simple body. You're necessarily aggressive, Kassad, and that puts people's backs up. It's all good. It's all good. Now we know what you meant.
The thing is, I can't really put my finger on the guy at all. Like you say that he looks professional. Looked at his numbers: 105, 106 rating in the last 6 months. Impact is good. Like he plays that shit role, especially in a team that's kind of. Well, it's shit. Like
it is not a very good team.
Astralis that is one of the most funded teams right now. Sure. One of the teams that should have the names, the previous heroic like lineup and all these things and Device on top of it.
By the way, I'd also love to know that because I'd love to know how much salary he makes versus all the others too. If he's on a low amount, I'd be so sad. I hope he's on a half decent amount at least.
He is probably not.
I imagine
but
he's
the thing is like with them, it's hard to say like what his impact might be if the team was kind of having a better time as a team, as players would be doing a better job in their roles, right? KDN and Staehr, and that Staehr was a more than a decent player in heroic, in CS:GO, and whatever. Now, would he? Does this seem that he is good just because Astralis is bad, or he's actually good? You know.
That's why it's tricky. That's why I also left the door up for the fact that I think he could be a better player if he was in a
Maybe
different
he's
team.
just average, right? But he could be a better. I do agree that the vibe from him, when you look at him on the camera and all these things, like he seems like a normal dude, like leveled, you know, and he's 20 years old. The numbers are fine. I don't think he's the problem there, that's for sure. Like, he is not the guy who is problematic in that lineup. He can be the next important piece in the future Astralis lineup.
That's also what I'm saying.
100%, 100%. I think that you must look at the replacing, devices and Cadian and whoever, right? That didn't fit the requests that you kind of had when you brought them from heroic, and you would definitely keep Staehr. I don't think I have anything, to say like badly about him, but nothing really spectacularly good as well. So in a way, when you look at it, like, what do you expect from device? You expect, greatness still, right?
Yeah.
You expect from Cadian to do, well, something.
Call some good rounds, yeah.
One good round would be good, yeah. And Stad and Yabi are supposed to be the duo that kind of delivers a lot of numbers. So when you compare them to them, he is the best player in the team. Like, not just the way you explained, but in general.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to look at it. He has the shitty role. He does a decent job, more than a decent job, more than some other players on that role in other teams that are doing worse than.
Which, by the way, I do think is underrated, because put it this way: when teams are doing as badly as this, it's actually exactly the person who's forced in the hard roles I expect to do the worst. And also, by the way, when you play with legendary players, like, it's everyone's dream in Denmark to play with Device. When you play with Device, but he's not really Device, he's like 80% or 75% Device. That'll also bring people's morale down. I don't feel like he's been affected like that, kassad. It seems like he just keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, you put that guy on a pedestal and then you sit next to him, and it's not the thing that you watched. It's completely different. And then if there is something personally, like if he's not the guy who kind of works hard as he did before, then you lose respect for it. But for anyone, it doesn't have to be Device, or it can be just anyone else. But the thing is, like, what can they do right now? Like, do they keep him? Do they change players? What can they do? Like, they had to ride this out and then figure it out later. For Staehr, I don't think there's going to be any issues, like, looking into his future. He can always land into a Danish team, because I think he proved enough. Being an entry in the teams like that are like this, if you have baiters behind you, people who are underperforming, not like trading, it's a most difficult role in the team. You're just getting slammed. Everywhere you go in, you're getting flashed. You're getting fucking smoked. You're getting headshotted. Nobody's trading. People are complaining. Then you go on the CT side, and then you're playing the anchor role or the soft anchor role, and people are just going into your side. The operators is going behind the smokes instead of in front of the smokes. Nobody's helping you, and you just ended up being on, constantly on HLTV forums and Reddits, and need to be replaced. But they want to keep, like, Device and other players.
That's why I made it my hot take, because I feel like people won't give this guy's credit.
Right. Yeah, and I see where you were coming from. It's a decent take. I didn't expect this one. Okay. I agree. Yeah, I do agree.
After all that, he agrees. Suddenly, I do know. I actually know now semantically what threw him off there, but it's all good. Keep going, Maui. So Serbian, the language already got fucking took astray just because he annoyed me. So whatever. Keep going.
Fucking budget Russian. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I mean, quickly, I feel like you guys covered a lot of everything I would have thought about that one. I mean, yeah, per role, I think he's really, really good. It is just between him and Device right now. I think Yabi was good at Cluj, but I haven't really seen that at other tournaments necessarily. I mean, Staehr and Cadian clearly are not in the running for winning the best in role on Astralis. Like, because, sometimes on teams we can say Alexi B is the best in role when it's hard to tell on Navi who's the best, but the T sides are going really well. Yeah, I mean, the calling's really not all too sick for Astralis. I guess they're doing well right now they're doing okay right now at Bucharest, but like, nah, like, I like it. It's a good take. It gives props to a guy that is oftentimes overlooked, and a guy that it's almost like unfortunate that Staehr is peaking as a player when he's in this iteration of Astralis, because it feels like if he was just good 2 years ago, he would have been on that heroic lineup instead of Tessis or something, and then he probably would be talked about in a similar breath as somebody like maybe even Staehr, like because he's legitimately that good. He just was kind of hard done by the team sucking.
Who's next?
Well, the thing is, like you said, like he's in prime. He's like 20 years old. I think he can just do more. Ever like if he gets
that's
rid of
another
the
thing. He's also young
fucking
too. Yeah.
tumor that the Astralis lineup is, is fucking crazy shit. But yeah, but the thing is, like, where we can take this one, Maui, you can take this one, or I can do it. Like it's. I'm just reading the news, and I saw the G2 Hades loan.
Well,
okay.
I was gonna take it there.
I mean, I have a take that's tangential to it. It's not about Hades, but it's about G2. I'll just take it because I had two takes I could have gone with. I think I like this one more because it's more like it's a prediction and we can like see does it come true. And yeah, I'm just putting my foot down on it finally. Snax will be off this team within a year. Within a year, he's off the team. I've gone a lot.
I know why he's tilted. I know why he's tilted because the problem is I think a year's too long. Am I right?
Like, that's 12 months.
It's too long. It's too long. It's
12 months, man.
Okay. How about
make it more aggressive?
You know what? I actually
come on. Make it more aggressive.
Well, it's too easy. It's too easy to take. Okay, fine. All right. Within the year. So
basically, in the rest of the 8 months left or whatever.
Yeah, within 2025.
That's more reasonable.
Is it still too easy?
Problem is, I don't think it's that hot take. I know. I don't think it's that hot take.
Picture a scenario where they fuck up the season.
I have another take.
Basically, it should happen, but that's the problem. I don't think it's that hot take.
Just say the end of the season.
Unless you have a reason, like for example, if you think, for example, like maybe you think secretly G2 think he's awesome. By the way, I don't. Like there was a recent news people might have seen where some guy who was like one of the fucking assistants on like Na'Vi claimed they were trying to get Boomich. So basically, I think essentially it's also implied G2 didn't really want him. He was just like a stopgap player. And just
I have a hotter take that goes counter to what fans are saying right now. I have a hotter in a way. Okay. The only bad move I've seen Peca make in the past 3 years is getting Snax. The only bad move.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
There.
He got Nexa! What are you talking about? Did you forget that? He did get Nexa.
Actually, no. Well, kassad got Nexa too.
The
difference is he didn't have Monacy and like fucking millions of dollars, did he? So exactly. By the way,
he didn't pay G2 as
by the way,
what do you mean?
Fair play. That is a good joke from kassad. I can't lie. He did,
funny.
One, he didn't pay him, and he didn't pay the buyout. So like he's actually got you on that one, Maui. He's actually
you're right.
boom roasted. Okay,
right.
next. Okay.
Actually, you're right.
Right, okay,
right.
Maui.
Actually,
level your game up right now. Right now, you're not the best in your role, mate. So level up right now. You gotta give us a better take for this. Come on, reload. We're gonna rewind. Come on.
I like the Snax thing. Just shorten the time. I like the Snax thing.
Okay.
Let's say the end of the season. Should be fine.
At end of the season. Okay. You know what?
It's after the major, basically.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Within 4 months. Within 4. What's the off season? What's the off season? I go. Okay. Within 4 months, Snax is off the team. There. Okay. I'll go. I made it even hotter. All right. I feel like that's now though that you guys baited me to do that. It's like how are you gonna disagree now that I made it like hotter? Because it's just like
no. But the thing is, like, I'll ask you this: do you really see Snax past July in this team?
No. Okay. So let me just give the reasonings. The duration is okay. I'll do that. Yeah. Within 4 months, he's off the team. Okay. But the reasoning is more kind of I think the interesting part of this. One. First and foremost. He's not a great IGL. That's just flat out. Like they have a decent. I'll be real. They have a decent strat book, but it feels like they're just calling out a spawn a lot of the time, and like any IGL could really do that. And it doesn't feel like there's like really in-depth mid-rounding. In fact, when they try to mid-round, I feel like G2 looks the worst on T side. It's usually just really quick sight hits and explosive sight hits, which is why Dust 2 is their favorite map. They just like getting on catwalk and then just swinging. Like that's practically the extent of a good G2 round. It's just like take the most bare minimum map control into a sight hit. Inferno, it's the exact same thing. You take banana and then you exec B. And the other thing is that number 2, I think by now Hunter should just be the IGL. That's just that's my take. I think Hunter there's no.
That's the take. That
the reasoning.
Supposed to be also my take, but I gave it up like 2 days ago when I was thinking about it. But it's a valid take. I like it. Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Hunter, he already calls the CT sides, apparently. He's in active positions a lot of the time. And I just think that, I think he just needs to bite the bullet on trying to be a top 20 player because he's had an okay run of form for the last month and a half. But in reality, like, it's okay, Hunter. If you're an IGL that puts up a .92 rating, I'm gonna be completely satisfied because I don't see he's not as much of a hindrance individually as Snax. He actually will play the active positions like a lot of modern IGLs now. You know, they play like connector on Mirage, like Apex or Shuhei did that. I think Hunter plays like short or something on Mirage, for example. You know, he can play spots where he's just in the fray, and to me, he's just more of a leader. Like he actually, like I think he didn't buy into this in his own personality, but people listen to him. People trust him more. I put more stock into what he says in a post game interview than anybody on the team practically at this point. Like he's very candid. He just seems to have those qualities. I just respect him more in general, and I feel like that's if I'm respecting him more throughout the muddied sequence of events we've seen G2 go through, I feel like that should pervade to other people on the team and even the management behind him too.
Yeah, fuck the management. But the thing is, like, he is definitely more trusted than anybody else right now in that team, considering m0NESY's situation and, you know, Snax being the IGL. Well, he's not supposed to be that IGL anymore. He was never supposed to be the IGL in that G2. He was never supposed to be in G2 at all. He was there just because they didn't have anybody else at the moment, and they couldn't get anyone else, from what I understand, in the past, whatever. That's why they didn't get anyone else.
And as far as I know, they knew they were going to lose Nico anyway, so it was like that season was almost the right
and the thing is, like, they had a Boomich option, but I don't know what the fuck happened there. We saw that there was
that would have been
rumors,
cool.
Whatever.
That's spicy.
That would have been interesting.
Cool.
Would have been interesting because Boomich is aggressive and he doesn't, you know, he's not afraid of calling something like crazier, and he knows how to like adapt to the teams that.
And he'd have Nico and m0NESY, mate. That would be sick.
He would have Nico and m0NESY. That was my last.
That'd be really good. Wouldn't
but the thing is, like, it never happened, and I just especially now, because look at the lineup now. We have m0NESY leaving, Snax being there, and the three people. So Hunter, Heavy God, and Maus, right? Heavy God is potentially good. Maus can be good. Hunter should be the IGL because you said it nicely. People trust him in the team. Community trust him. Like, he's level-headed guy. He works hard. He does a lot of things. He has the experience in playing big events, and he can definitely take that. If Apex did it, and he's successful in it, Hunter can do it too. So I don't see why he doesn't do it. I didn't really speak to him lately because of this whole thing. And now, to get back to the latest news, they're linking G2 with Hades as a new offer, out of all people. Now, it doesn't say if it's a loan or just a straight up shot for him playing. Whatever it is, it's terrible. Like, I like that kid, that Hades kid. He's a good kid. He played in Ents. He had a relatively successful run there. Then it was downward trajectory from there in 9 and Monty and all this, and then he tried to be the IGL himself, and he's all right for those kind of, you know, things, but in a G2 kind of hot situation right now, putting him there is going to be disaster for both sides, to say the least.
Here's the thing, kassad. To me, I know some other people have this take, but I immediately just thought this. To me, remember, the key part about the m0NESY deal that's crazy is that it's not at the end of the season. He's going to go for the fucking Austin Major, and he's going to be in Falcons.
Exactly.
So to me, I actually don't think this is even a real signing, mate. I think this is just like, you can play with us until we figure out who the other offer is. That's just my guess, but that's what it looks like from the outside. So I don't think it's like a real signing, in my opinion. I don't think they think Hades is the replacement for m0NESY, put it that way.
It really does.
I hope not, at
like
least.
that.
I certainly hope not.
From the outside, like, they're gonna get somebody who they can pay for a loan for a few months. Probably nothing expensive. They got a lot of money for m0NESY, so they can use something to loan, do what they can do, keep the core of Hunter, Malps, and Heavy God. Right? Try to maybe get a Hunter into the IGL role, get 2 players with an OP and a player, obviously. The rumor has, I don't know if the rumor is true, this is not confirmed, but the rumor is like they send the bid for Kiyosuke. They send an offer after they sold this guy, m0NESY. Now, that's the rumor that's going on. I don't know if it's true, so that's just some
I don't hate that move.
That I got, yeah. I don't hate it too if his English is all right.
It's kind of a m0NESY move again. I don't mind that. She's a good gamble.
They can pay a lot because they got a lot. But the thing is, like, they need an OP after that. That's the problem. They don't have an OP. Like, OP can be a problem. For me, S1MPLE can be an option. He is definitely a person who can deliver the next 2 years, like, of his career. And then you'll see. Other than that, I don't know. I have no idea. But that brings me to my. Actually, Duncan, you have the reply to that. I was going to take with my.
I don't have too much on this. Like, basically, I think, pretty sweet. I think, like I said before, I actually think one of the toughest things, you know what, in the future, I can't promise this, but I don't know if he will ever himself do any kind of interview with someone else about this, but if I can, I will actually try and do some sort of content. Maybe it'll be a talk show and we can all talk to him. Maybe I'll do an interview. I'll actually try and get Peca to do something, because here's the thing. I will just say this. I have actually spoken to him in the past behind the scenes about G2, and basically, one of the reasons I haven't gone as hard at him as I maybe did early on when they had like that roster with like Huxley and Nex in, it was like it could never have won a tournament, and then Monty had to do like simple 2018 shit. Because when I actually heard some of the behind the scenes, it was that shit, Kassad, you know this, where it's like all the players you don't like that they sign aren't even, it's not that they're not even the first choice. They might be like the fifth choice, or they might be like the one that you do when all the other ones say no, or where you have someone you're about to sign and then the deal doesn't go through and there's some sort of a snag, or the price goes up at the end, or someone else, or even worse, you're about to get someone and then someone else signs that guy. And so as far as I know, a lot of those moves were like temporary moves where sometimes either the team was just good enough because of equal monacy, they just kept them, or the joke is, as like it happened even in the Malbs ones, or the Huxley ones, sometimes they just won tournaments too, when it was that thing of like, well, you've got to give people a bit more time. So I'm not as harsh before. It's just, if you look at the big picture, I think it looks terrible, because you've very rarely ever signed bona fide top players. Like, the joke is literally FaZe, who I've heard don't even actually like spend massive money. FaZe has had loads of like HLTV top 20 players just come and join their team. G2 never does. You become HLTV top 20 on G2. They don't sign a massive player who's still really good though at that time. Like, it's one of the areas that's kind of weird, especially because we're talking about the era when they had an equal monacy, like the ultimate 2 stars that everyone would want to play with if you're in the other roles. So to me, there was always something off about that. So I will certainly critique how they've GM'd, but like, basically, I think the Snax thing was just sort of like a temporary thing, and I think it was definitely not their first choice. It's implied by this thing about Boomich and some of the other players they tried to get. So I think not only will he be off, I think even they're going to kick him out at this point in time, mate. I think as soon as Monacy leaves, there's no reason to keep him. Like, it's not even that he's like, here's the problem as well. This is the same thing with Taz. I don't think these people are terrible at their roles. I think they're just inappropriate to be in what on paper should be like one of the best teams in the world. Like, if G2 plays it right, especially when they had some of these stars, they should have been like a lock to be top 3 the whole time. Like, the point is just like, the question is, are you 3, 2 or 1? They had times where they were probably like the 5th or like the 7th best. And right now, by the way, even with Monacy, they look like they're the fucking like 10th best team, ignoring the opening day of this tournament or whatever. So to me, I do think it should happen. I think it's just obvious. And also, going forwards, I think not only have fans figured out this isn't the move, but like, again, who the fuck wants to have an old ass, not that great IGL with no stars? I mean, Melbs hasn't quite yet become like an eco monacy, so you haven't really got like one man carry. Who the fuck wants that if you're a G2 fan or G2? You have to start over. What you have to basically say, by the way, you can start off with these 3. These are a good 3 to start with. If you just say Hunter's IGL, Heavy God, you can get your rolls going, get into it, and then Malbs, you're my like star rifler. As we're saying, then you bring in a fucking actual AWPer. Mate, you're not that far from having, again, like a real top 5 team, like a team that's actually good, could do some things. So I actually think it's not a super spicy take, but it's a good, as long as you make it like for the season, it's a good take. The problem is, if you'd have made it for a whole year, like the joke is, I think even Snax would be like, yeah, no shit, I definitely won't be here a year. Like, even he would sort of know that. I also feel like, actually, I'll give him credit, by the way. One thing I do appreciate about Snax is, by the way, when Snax was a player, Maui, he absolutely was spicy. There's a bunch of times he insulted me on Twitter and tried to say people know nothing about CS. He actually has never done that to any of us, you notice, as an IGL, which I actually think, unironically, it's not that I don't think he has confidence in himself, but I think even he knows he's not doing an amazing job, and he doesn't think he's fucking Glaive 2018, mate. I think in a weird way, he's sort of actually quite chill on that topic, and he just kind of just does his job and goes, look, it's that thing of like, if someone offers you a great job, you as the person have to take it. Doesn't mean you're going to be good at it, though, but you'll take it. If someone offers you a fucking $1 million contract, you go, yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah,
so he would definitely be gone.
Saying that he shouldn't go and like fire himself. You're not talking.
Of course not. Exactly.
Like, the thing is,
simply
like,
with Huxley, I get it if he wants to stay. It's just I don't want him to stay. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing. But my take was go.
I mean, just briefly, I think Snax has done a weirdly good job where I remember him being, and really the entire VP team being, so much more fiery when they were at the top of the scene. But like, I think he also knows if he makes an enemy out of us more so than he already is by just kind of being mediocre at his job, it's just like, it's just not going to do you any favors at all.
Because here's the thing, this. For Reddit plebs, if he had have done the hooksy to kassad to you on that desk, they'd have been fucking worshipping this guy, mate. Like, showering him with fucking, carrying him out on their shoulders like he was a genius or something. Even though he was just to burn you. But he didn't do it. He actually just fucking chilled. It's all good.
Yeah. I kind of respect it more that he's not doing it, because he definitely knows. He's definitely online. He sees these things.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, he sees these things and, they're just because they're true, man. It's not like we are making up stories and lying to people. Like it's happening right there. Like we have eyes. Like it's.
Well, he's also been pretty good sport. He's been a good sport in post game interviews and stuff.
That's the other thing as well. You notice he's never shit talked to anyone in those interviews. Like,
no, he's actually just really.
There's plenty of people are bad at their role in the game that shit talk all the time in those interviews and make it sound like you actually invented stuff.
I think of the stuff like the difference between like when I talked about him versus when I talked about Nafany, and Nafany went so fucking hard at me, and now he has no fucking job. He has no job. He has no job anymore. And then Snax does it, and it's like, all right, I just don't even really want to keep this up because it's like it's not really a back and forth. It's just like it feels like bowling after a while. Like it really does.
But yeah, the fun shit was crazy, and it's still crazy. But anyway, my take would be that I'm just gonna connect to the GMing of G2.
Okay.
Like, he has been the worst GMing since 2020, since GG or whatever the fuck was it, right? Has to be. Like it's even worse than fucking that Mavericks guy who traded Luka Doncic for fucking...
the Nico, whatever his name is. Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, right? Like the thing is, they had to look at it like all the old lineup, the successful lineup, not really that old, right? When you look at it, Ocelot is the one who brought Monesi, yeah. Ocelot is the one who bought Hunter and Nexa from Crazy.
And Nico and Alexi B got all the great. I was going to
say, Ocelot was the one who brought Nico from FaZe.
Yeah.
And Alexi.
He was killing it, mate. If you don't know, by the way,
else.
in real life, guys, I believe Ocelot is a fan of Real Madrid. And you can tell why. He was trying to make G2 the Real Madrid of CS. It's obvious, yeah.
He was all the stars. Bringing all these players.
Yes.
And now the next set of people in the fucking organization. Like, I'm not saying it's only peca, right? The guy who has the title of general manager. It's not his call 100%. For people out there thinking that he's making 100% of the calls, he isn't.
Remember that CEO guy, the guy who came from Riot, even was bragging in that interview about who they could keep and stuff.
Listen, it's him. It's a little bit of peca. He's not like zero voice. That's that Julian guy. That there is more people involved in the decision making. Right. So the whole structure of these plebs is there, who managed to lose in a space of 6 months 2 superstar generational players. I was gonna say franchise players, right?
Yeah, people that's totally legit.
To lose them for what? For a couple of $1 million that you can make anyway. You lose Nico to Falcons, and now you're gonna lose Monesi. Monesi could have stayed in your org for the next 8 years.
Absolutely.
If you played it well.
If you notice, it's why I always say, kassad, the thing that I always find alarming is people never ask this question. They all say to Nico, why would you leave Monesi? And then when Monesi's gone, they go, why would you go to Falcons? My question is, why do these great players, all-time, why are they wanting to all, essentially the only rule they all have is I'll never be in G2. That should be really alarming to everyone if you're a G2
They're all
fan.
Going for money then.
But the difference is if you do a good job, here's the thing, kassad, we're just talking to these people through the internet. They're meeting these people every fucking event. If you can't sit down and explain to that guy your plan for the future and make him want to buy in, that's a bad sign to me. You know what I mean?
They don't have a plan.
If you talk honestly the right plan, if you give me some time, I'll get you this IGL, and don't worry, after the major, I'll get you this guy. Then we can get them to buy in. Remember, players generally, aside from the Falcons thing, because you get mega paid, players generally don't want to leave orgs because it's a hassle to leave and fucking have a new fan base and have to be in a new team, and it's a nightmare. You have all expectations. Everyone wants to be in one team if you're a star, and just have everyone build around you and you stay there.
The thing is, they throw money at the fucking players. They just go because they're stupid kids. They go for money. Nico, he went for the money. He got the money. Now he's paying the price in Falcons. They've been trashed by Gamer Legion. And just to clarify to people, before I go back to G2, my tweet about the salaries. I'll just clarify it for people so they can actually fucking understand, because I have seen so many fucking things. That's probably not accurate. It's fucking accurate. Because 15 months ago, Nico's salary was supposed to be above €60,000. And that's 15 months ago. his value went up. He was the top 3 player. He's fucking, he had an amazing year. Inflation as well. Let's add 10 fucking percent.
Oh, I did an unbelievable salary, mate. Yeah.
So let's say it was 62 15 months ago plus 10%, 68 point something, right? 69, 70. Make it fucking 70. PR, the kid from Gamer Legion, he was supposed to play in Bleed. In Maus Academy or Maus NXT, he had 2.5k. In Bleed, he was supposed to get 3.5k. And that was the deal made. Then Maus said they want to keep him for the major whatever sub spot, and then Bleed just imploded and scammed everyone, but whatever. And then he went to Gamer Legion. You think he got more than 3.5 or something crazy? I don't think so. 1,000? You think he has a fucking 15k salary? You think that ZTR has fucking crazy salary? Slant got bought out from Endpoint for over $100,000. You think he got crazy salary? No. All these people, when you combine, they don't have 30k. I don't know about Rez, because he was in NIP for 7 years. He had a 20k salary or something.
True.
But the thing is, he probably has less now. And then combine all of that, and then, you have all these people in Falcons making all this money. They get 13-2, 13-1. But that's just to clarify the tweet and all this shit.
Yeah.
The thing is, people are, went for the money, now they're paying the price in a sense. That came with going to Falcons. Falcons, they don't have any fucking fans. They don't have fans. That's an org with money. That's fucking nothing. They go with the players. They came with the Nico. They will come with Monesi. Nobody cheers for Falcons. Not like people cheer for G2.
Yeah, true.
There is legitimate army of G2 fans.
Absolutely, yeah.
Same was for Cloud9, FaZe, all other Vitality.
Even
all
Astralis, yeah, all these orgs.
Even Astralis.
Yeah.
They have army of fans. But GM was so mismanaged. The G2 was so mismanaged in the last couple of years. They managed to sell in the space of 6 months 2 franchise players, 2 generational players.
Yes.
And now they are fucking left with Hades and Snax to go into the Austin Major. The only kind of silver lining there that they have that can kind of turn the ship around in a sense, even though it's still a fucking disaster, losing Monesi and Nico in the space of 6 months just for a couple of millions, which you can do so much more with those players, offer them, sacrifice fucking another division if you need to, offer more money to Monesi to stay. Sacrifice it because he's gonna bring you more. He is a superstar kid that will dominate CS for the next 10 years. Nico has another 3-4 years in him. You bought Malbs, who is a good player. You have Hunter, turn him into an IGL, and then you have a perfectly solid lineup. But they chose money over it, the same way Nico chose money in Falcons. Like I said, the silver lining is the fact that they have money and they have the core, somewhat of a core of Malbs, Heavy God, and Hunter, right? Like you said, or Maui said, I don't know who was it. Decent, good offer, and then a buyout for a talented Monesi-like type of deal can bring them back into relevance. This is not it, and it will not be it if the Hades comes in next. Maybe they get some sort of a half run on the major, but they will not be taken seriously by anyone. And that's the fault of the people behind the lineup, not the lineup itself, right? From what I understand, they didn't offer at the beginning. They didn't offer Monesi contract. It was later, and he refused. And then it was back and forth. But it was already too late. Do you think Ocelot would allow this to happen?
No way. It's even his philosophy.
No.
He always used to make sure if you go, you're always under contract. So it's his choice where you go and how much you go for. Yeah, of course.
And G2 has put themselves in a position to have 6 months left on the contract for Monesi. Otherwise, he goes free. But Monesi is a kid. We talked about this. He's a kid. He's probably doesn't use his brain. I would stay.
By the way,
want the money,
you could actually even argue, Kassad, here's a hot take. G2's actually lucky Falcons exist. Because if Falcons didn't exist and they are desperate to not be shit anymore,
would be really lucky. Yeah.
Then Monesi would probably just leave on a free at the end of his contract and you get nothing. Or or at the end, you wait until there's 2 weeks left on his contract and you go, there's 100k, fuck off. You know what I mean? That would probably happen.
Also, I will.
This would be like what you criticizing with FaZe, where they lost all those stars for nothing. It would be like that in G2, I think, if Falcons didn't exist. It's just they're lucky Falcons is there.
So they can actually pay the money.
Yeah,
any smarter org.
Yeah, exactly.
Any smarter org would just go to fucking Monesi and say, listen, there is 400K for you on January 1st.
Absolutely.
Pay to your fucking account when you sign the contract.
You know the example, Kassad. That's literally what Real Madrid is doing to Trent Alexander-Arnold now. They were like,
exactly.
We'll offer a joke amount, but we're just saying that to show. Like, wait until your contract, you can be free, and then we pay you the money. You become rich.
You know who did that in CS? You know who did it in CS? Nobody knows this, or nobody remembers. That Cengiz guy from Maus. I don't know if you remember the ex-owner. He is a character. He's a good dude. I like that dude a lot.
Okay.
He signed Oscar from Hellraisers to Maus ahead of time.
Yeah.
He said like, in September Oscar is coming in because his contract was expiring and he just signed him as a free agent from September 1st.
I actually do remember this, Kassad, because famously, when they knew Simple was leaving to go back to Navi, that was the player me and Hiko came up with. Like, we should just get Oscar. He's like Nico Light, isn't he? And then when we went to him, Oscar even was like, "Oh, I would actually come, but I've already agreed to join Mouse Biscuits. I've already done the deal's done." You're right. That's actually a very smart deal. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that you remember that. I mean, not like you kind of figured it out that it wasn't Falcons. Like, nobody would be
everyone would wreck this team. Yeah, they would look stupid as fuck.
It would just go for free, and then all of these people behind the team would be fired because they lost money.
Yes.
Imagine, like, they bought him for 600, they're going to sell him for about 2 million, probably, $1.5 million, something like I don't even know. Somebody's reporting 2.5 billion, but I don't know if that's accurate. Sure. Overall, they have been poorly mismanaged by this kind of structure of people behind.
Yeah, great.
They had so much things that Ocelot left for them, in that team, and he was managing it. He laid out he brought Nico from fucking Mouse. He paid whatever, like 300-400K for Hunter and Nexa back in the crazy days. He paid 600K, took that risk, even though everybody was criticizing it for Monacy. And now, where is it now? All of it fucking fell apart. Sold out. So, yeah.
What do you think,
I think that the time frame is important here because there's been some pretty awfully GM rosters in the last couple of years that really jumped out at me when you said that. First and foremost, NIP for like 2021 to 2024 was just complete train wreck.
Yes.
Beyond that, everything past the initial lineup that Evil Geniuses had was also just disaster.
So both of since EG.
Okay, since EG, then I think it would probably have to be NIP was probably the worst one because I looked at it while you were talking at like some of the moves they had. So kind of after the device saga, they got Brolin in March of 2022. They benched him about a year and a half later as they won nothing. Within 4 months, he won ESL Pro League. They got Alexi B in September of 2022. They benched him 9 months later, and he won a major with Navi less than a year after they benched him. They promoted a wealth of players that nobody really remembers. Like they had Mistum, they had Blue Phoenix, they had Maxter, they had Esatag and Config for God knows how long, like 3 years they had those guys. Like sticking with the core of Esatag, Config, and Headtrick instead of Brolin and Alexi B has to be one of the biggest fumbles, knowing what we know now about all those players. So I'm just going again. Yes, G2 has had some really bad misses too, but I think NIP takes the cake for me for just like how bad it can really get, because it's the exact case point example of every time they zigged, they zagged. Every time they should have zigged, they zagged. It's just like they have like almost binary options, and they always are choosing 0 instead of 1. It's like it was actually generationally bad for how they went. And also even then, like, I don't know how Gamer Legion got Rez. I mean, to me, Rez was always like the one consistent factor for NIP. Now he looks like Gamer Legion's probably second best player. Him and PR are both really good. And
you know, so that award they have in the NBA and the NFL where it's like most improved player, he would win that, or like comeback player of the year. Rez would win that. You know what I mean?
Comeback player.
Yeah, he's actually
it's crazy that you would say he was the most consistent, like in a sense that he was there, like present. Then he was consistently there.
No, but he also
delivering
he wasn't
2017.
No, but that's also because they obviously let him do shit roles, didn't they? Like I can tell I know what Maui means. Like his floor was pretty decent for most years.
Yeah, his floor was pretty high. If you
go
back,
yeah.
His floor was pretty high.
I don't give a fuck about this. Like they're giving him shit roles. What, 7 years? You get shit roles for 7 years? You don't know how to speak up? They changed 7 IGLs, 55 players, and you still get shit roles? Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
If anything, you're making the case for Maui. That's a really badly run org. Yeah, they had this one player.
Yeah, no, I was gonna get
shit
there.
roles for 7 years. You're making his case for him.
No. I was gonna get there and say like they're up there as well.
Okay.
Like they just didn't have. When you compare the talents they have, against the talents that G2 had.
That's what the irony of all is this, Kassad. You've actually fallen into the trap I avoided by what I said in my first point. If you'd have just said, relative to the players and budget they had, G2 was the worst GM, you would have won the argument. The problem you have is, Maui's sort of right. Like, in fact, he's not even that bad. Like, I've always said this. The real problem that fucking... I can't remember his bloody name now. What was the name of that fucking guy from North? I forgot his name now. The fucking Jonas Gunderson. There you go. Jonas Gunderson. Okay. Right? The real mistake he made was, as Maui said, it wasn't even some of the players he signed. It's that he zigged all the time when he should have zagged. Like, think of this. In the org, technically, they just weren't all on the roster. He had, at the exact same time, literally, Brolan, Device, and Alexi B. But they never all played in the server at the same time, technically. Like something mad like that. Like, or maybe Alexi. I think it was roughly that order.
I think Brolan and Alexi were maybe.
I think Brolan was benched at one point, and then I know Device wasn't. Yeah. So, but on paper, if you have those three, we'd say he's doing a great job.
Device never played with them.
That could have been insane. Yeah. No, he was inactive for a year. So that would have been insane, but it just never resulted at the same time. Here's why I think the G2 one, if you do it as Kassad should have done and said relative to their money, here's why it's worse though, Maui. Because there's actually like very logical reasons why those players couldn't play together. Device was out for a year with an illness where he never informed people month to month whether he was coming back. Brolan just wanted to leave eventually because it was so shit. They never put players around Alexi B so he looked bad. The difference is there's reasons why that one. I actually think the G2 one is worse though. Because remember, G2 also kicked Alexi B. Like G2, if they'd have actually had any vision, could have just stuck with it. And remember, that was young Monacy. Mate, can you imagine if when Monacy had actually come into his own, Nico was already insane. Hunter got really good in 2023. If you'd have had Alexi B in 2023 with that roster, well, JK, you would have fucking cooked, bro. Imagine the championships you could have started. That could have been an all-time great team.
I see your re-raise, and I'm all in. Astralis.
They win.
I feel like Astralis can't lose here. Like you missed 4 majors in a row.
They've had a lot of HLTV players too as well, mate. They've had a lot of HLTV top 20.
Exactly.
They've won a lot, very little.
I mean, I like the take. I like the take in general because I think it deserves to be shouted out how poorly G2's gone. Even despite the fact that I tried making a knee-jerk take about like peca.
I know what you mean.
Thought about
Put it this way, Maui. I've said this
longer.
before. The saddest thing is, aside from Carrigan, they've had nearly all the best Danish players of this like generation in Astralis. They've just fucked it up. You're right. They haven't even won a trophy, mate. Well, I'm sure they won some bullshit small thing I don't care about. Not like a real one, obviously.
I don't even know the last thing they have one in general. Like, I mean,
nobody cares. That's why. Who is next?
Okay. The problem is, I'll have to ask you on this one. There's two. You know what? Fuck it. I was going to do like one of those ones like you said, just a good take. Fuck that. I'm just going to do all hot takes. So here's the hot take for you. So you know now, right, there's a problem right now, which is, and by the way, this is also a really bad sign, which is, I think right now, Monacy in G2 and Falcons, because they both know this deal is going to happen. So it's like, who even gives a shit about this? Like, essentially, we're waiting for the real team. Like, this doesn't count. This doesn't count, lol. Like, wait for the real squad. They're all just looking like they're phoning it in. They all just look like, wait, look, can we just skip forward? If it was their dream, they'd be like in that movie Click, and they'd just press fast forward on the remote and just get to him on the team already and forget about this tournament. So I'm just going to, so right now, because Falcons is terrible, and they're probably going to come fucking last at like Cluj or whatever as I speak, Bucharest. And by the way, I don't care what people say. This might age badly. I don't care. G2's not winning this tournament. I don't give a flying fuck what you think. Like, as soon as they get to the playoffs, they'll be found out as a fraud. They will even lose, by the way, to lesser teams. Even FaZe will probably beat them head in the playoffs, etc. Right? So here's what I will say. I do think Falcons getting Monacy will be a big game changer, though. So if everyone thinks that, like, everyone's doing the same thing as when Nico joined, they're all just like, you're just going to be trapped in hell and it's going to be shit and we're all going to laugh at you. No, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to say they're going to be number one. Falcons with Monacy will make it to top 4 at the Austin Major.
Top 4? Yeah.
Top 4. top 4. Did you say fucking top 4?
Yeah.
Based on what?
It's Arctic Shore! He hasn't even played a fucking game with him yet! I can't possibly. Kassad, the way he takes boiler control on Inferno is going to really revolutionise the whole.
What aspect of the fucking game?
He's an insane oper.
Outside the fucking
dynamic way that they run their T sides.
First of all, I have already seen Nico and Morrissey play together. They are both insane. They have no overlap, and by the way, they are both really good. Here's another thing: they are two of the most like self-directed stars I've ever seen in CS. Like they're the guys where. I don't think they should actually be the IGLs, but like they're doing like mini IGL from their roles, clearly. It's just obvious to me. They're not being directed. No one's using Morrissey as a turret. No one's telling Nico when to go. They're doing their own shit. So one, I think that both of them will get there and just frag out. I think they will both be dope. I actually think Tessus, look, Maui went too far months earlier when his stats were too high, but he is a good player and he does seem like he's a soldier and does what he's told. Magisk, look, I actually think Magisk is the guy, by the way, who has to look out. That fucking CS royalty tag is going to go off you real soon if you're shitting this teammate. Like, but if he can just basically, you don't even have to be good. Just do like the odd clutch play all right in a big match. And then I'm not the biggest Kixon fan, but mate, if you have any talent and you are supposed to be this good in loose IGL, again, we've already had this test with Snax and Huxley. If you can't win championships with fucking Nico and Morrissey, you are a bomb IGL, like, or you are average as fuck. Like, if this will be the test it kicks in. If you are actually good, you better fucking cook now. So the reason why I say top 4 instead of like win the majors, because one, vitality exists, and then two, they won't have had enough time, will they? Like, I think it's unreasonable to think they should be at their best immediately for Austin. But I think Austin, just off those two players, I think they can do it. So if you think of the other teams out there, once you go past the vitalities and the spirits, like, if you have Nico and Morrissey, why couldn't you beat Na'Vi? If you have Nico and Morrissey, why couldn't you best Phase or Eternal Fire or Mongols? I think it's not as crazy a take. The reason I think the hot part of the take for me is people think they're going to be. People keep treating every past Falcons lineup like when good players join, it's going to stay the same level. Like surely Morrissey improves Falcons. You know what I mean?
I would even just say like this. They should, in fact, with the player quality that's there and how it's proven that Nico and Morrissey should reach that deep in a major, then I would just go back to Kassad's take last week. If they don't get top 4, Zonic needs to be fired.
All right, re-raise. They're going to make the final and lose to Vitality in the final of the Austin Major. There you go.
Then everybody keeps their jobs and everybody's happy and everything makes sense. But if they don't get top 4,
there you go.
Just Zonic needs to be cut. Zonic needs to be cut.
Come on, Kassad. You're ready to go off. Come on.
But the thing is, what pisses me off the most is the fact that, like,
you know what really grinds my gears? Go on.
We are considering Falcons being in top 4 of the finals.
Finals now. Finals.
Finals. Well, let's say top 4 and the final, whatever, right? Let's cover it all. As a hot take, literally $1 billion later.
True. Yeah, true.
And we are considering that a fucking hot take?
No, I know what you mean, Kassad.
Like, that's what's pissing me off.
The football analogy is just being like, hey, Chelsea should be top 4 this season. It's like, mate, with what they spent, they should be winning this Premier League. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, true.
Next 10 years.
It's true.
Like $1 billion later, and they're like, we are gonna fucking. I have a good hot take. They're gonna be
true. When you put it like that is good. Okay, when you put it like that,
they fucking win it, like it shouldn't be enough.
Okay. Well, okay. Maui, he's actually done it. And as his fucking superpower, his latent superpower, his X-Men DNA gene has activated, and he's only gone and done it with the best take of the show. Are you ready? I'll connect together all of his takes. If they don't make the Austin Major final, they should the next day fire Zonic. Signed Kassad 2025, because I just love the idea. Kassad is mental enough that making a major final with a new lineup would still get you fired. Like, do you agree with that? Is that take good enough for you, Kassad?
Yeah, absolutely. I fucking, like, everybody's acting so like nuts, that's gonna be the fucking worst thing.
It's so
people
nuts.
Are gonna be like, oh my god, they're so good. Like, you know, it's so crazy. It's like $1 billion later. Like, fuck you. Like, it's like, I mean, it's stupid. But are they gonna get the top 4? Let's look at the quality of the other players. Like, you said like Nico plus Morrissey. We saw it before. We saw it this and that. Like, Nico Morrissey played with these other 3 players, right? When you compare those players right now, and the coach, whoever was it, like, where do you rank them there? Is it the help enough to push them to top 4 of the finals? Like, are the players good enough to push 2 of them enough, right?
I think so.
They're going to carry their asses off, whatever, right? But it still needs to be 3 more. Like in G2, it was who? Bulbs, Hunter plus Snax, right? Or yeah, and Hooksy, whatever. JKS back in the day. Now it's gonna be Tessus, fucking Magisk, and Kixen. Kixen, you said it nicely. If you don't deliver with this one, get the fuck out. Nobody fucking cares. You should be fired, fucking sued, and God knows what else. But the thing is, like, he has perfect pieces. When it comes to Magisk, he's like, I don't know what the fuck is he doing.
No one knows, mate. No one knows.
Nobody fucking knows. Easy the fucking. I can't wait for this Dexter story that he's preparing or whatever the fuck.
You think he's just gonna go off because they fucked him? You think?
I mean, knowing him, I don't think it's that far off. Like he said it. He's gonna say it. And if he doesn't say it, I'm gonna call him out.
Okay.
Straight up. Are you gonna say it or are you gonna be a bitch about it? But I do think he's not a bitch. I think he's a guy who will say it.
Okay.
Now, if he's gonna say the truth or not, I don't know. But like, he's gonna say something. And then we have who do we have at Tessus? Yeah, the best rider or sprayer or fucking.
One of the best.
How did you call him?
One of the best.
What the fuck?
Still has
shit take that was.
He still has a good spray. He might make bad decisions sometimes, but he's got a good spray.
Yeah, sometimes. Now, like, which side do we look at it from? Are those three guys going to help these two guys? Or Nico and Monesi are going to play so well they're going to make other people play better? You know, that's maybe a recipe for a good run at the major. One of those two, right? Let's say Nico and Monesi have a great, you know... But that's like an assumption that they have an amazing tournament. They're not going to have the teamwork. They're not going to have the chemistry. They're not going to have all these things, the structure, because we saw that timeout. Can you call something? Who, me, I don't know, you, whatever. They're not going to have any of that, right? So they have to rely that the winning...
He's fucking happier about saying that timeout than all the fans are, mate. He was eating that shit up like, finger licking good. Oh, can I get... Please, sir, can I get... Like Dave Chappelle, can I get more of them timeouts, please? Hey, Blast, can I get more of them timeouts, please? Y'all got any more?
Fucking crazy. And then we are assuming they're going to have like a perfect tournament. What if Monesi has a bad tournament? Like this one? What if Nico doesn't have a good tournament? Are they going to make?
Then they should all be fired. Everyone in the world should be fired who doesn't live up to your expectations.
Always. No, there is a question: are they starting in stage 1 or stage 2, Maui? You probably know.
Why is Kassad like the fucking Donald Trump of CS? Like, you're fired. Get out.
I think stage 2. I don't think they're that high up. I think they're stage 2.
If they go to stage 2, then it's going to be even stage 1.
Yeah, stage 2. Stage 2. Or stage 2.
So they're in a better spot. So they
stage 3 is the best. Stage 3 is the best spot.
What is the fucking stage 1 then?
Stage 1 is what all the MRQ teams make it to.
Okay.
So stage 2 is the actual first stage, and then I get it.
Yeah,
but
there's like 4 stages.
Copium, then what happens is they farm the mid teams, you get the game flowing, and then they hit that final stage really hard, and then they're flaming at that point.
Yeah, fucking yes.
And it's only because Vitality exists in the final that they don't win the major. You know, can't beat each other because I don't want to counter my own hot take from the past episode. So Vitality has to be the greatest team of all time. So they lose to them, but then it's okay because it was just Vitality. And then the day after, Dexter drops his twit longer. Like, this is why fuck Falcons. The check cleared now. Fuck Falcons.
I don't want it to be a tweet. Like, I don't want to. I want to see him. I want you to do it. You can do it. Or Richard, anybody can do it.
Okay, cheers.
One of you do. Like, whatever, right?
Okay.
And then I want to see him talk about it. Like, I want to see, like, if he's telling the truth or not. Like, you know, just a tweet is just a tweet, just words. But if you see people speak, you can generally have a sense of if he's, like, genuine or, like, honest or he's just bullshitting you, right? So I would like to see that. And I'm hoping that it will be there. Who is next? Is it me?
Yeah.
Go for
this. I'm looking at this. I was gonna go with the in-game hot take that, you know, the what do you call it, the diffuse kit. We spoke about it should be 300, 200. I was gonna go with the fact that it should be automatically assigned to every CT on spawn, and that would change the game fucking crazy, in a crazy way.
I'm just confused.
We just always have 5-second defuses?
Yeah, I'm confused is why give him a diffuse kit? Why not just make the diffuse shorter? Isn't that the same thing?
You mean...
No, it's not. Because this way everybody has it, and that way...
So they can drop it when they die, and they have to rebuy it?
No, it doesn't fucking drop at all. It's just attached to you, right? You just spawn with it every fucking round.
Never mind.
So
that is the same as what I said.
That
is the same as what I said.
5-second
Yes.
defuse.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, Maui, by his logic should be just remove the diffuse kit and make every diffuse the time of a diffuse kit. Like, but it's the
Give me
same
like 5
concept.
seconds.
Yeah, essentially.
Same.
Okay.
But I gave up on that hot take. I gave up on it.
Why are we previewing? Okay, we get like Kassad's scribbled notepad things in the waistband and all.
It's not like Maui in a long flight from fucking Hawaii to Istanbul, and then I'm thinking and I'm fucking doing my research.
My takes were good after that. I rushed this one today because the guys pressured me.
Yeah, but like you had a week to prepare, and there's so much material. But the thing is, like, speaking of so much material happening today, the next hot take, like we saw the Hades loan instead of Monastery, right? Hades on loan instead of Hades because they already written up the season.
Yeah.
Written out the season, they just ruled it out and whatever. Like they should use Simple as a stand-in for the major.
I was thinking of making this a take. I was actually thinking of making this a take.
By the way, I actually do think, unironically, the difference is that's the only team right now where there's no downside to the move. You know what I mean?
Would be happy to play
the hyper load, even if it didn't work.
Imagine the fucking hype on the major around G2, around the major. I know you all want to say something now, but motherfuckers, but you had your time for your hot takes. Now it's my turn. Everybody would be around G2, around the major. Everybody would be fucking watching every single game. The fucking viewership would skyrocket. Simple would love to play the major, I assume.
Yeah.
And is everybody normal? He is the perfect, fit considering the situation they're in right now. They don't have to buy him out. I'm sure that he would give up some of his salary or some of it just to be, benched salary, just to be in a position to play the major.
Plus, he gets stickers anyway.
He has the experience playing on the high pressure matches, big stages, playing in big organizations as well. And then G2 would use somebody like that. That can deliver under pressure, that has experience, somebody that can carry you, maybe, potentially. I don't know if he plays a lot of CS right now, but all signs point that would be a great, solid move. Even the financial one that people often say, you're not considering that. Even financially, I think Navi would love it, Simple would love it, and G2 would be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Because it would be like something insignificant considering they sold Monastery for such a high fucking price. So him being there instead of Hades, who can be, with like a below average Whopper right now, I think it's a way to go. I think that's the route they should take till the end of the season.
And they placed top 8 in the major, so why not?
Oh my God. I feel like it works on a lot of levels, actually. One is just that in the server, very self-directed player, just like Monacy. I mean, Monacy created himself in the image of Simple in many ways. And, knows how to call his own number. Simple does the same thing. He would give them a boost in terms of just playing outside of the system to give them something more because clearly they need it. Clearly, if they're just kind of playing within themselves, within whatever structure, if you want to call it that Taz and Snax are creating, they're pretty hard capped at best, just making the playoffs of events, never really going any further than that. And with Hades, I feel like the thing is like it just kind of screams to me when you get someone like Hades, who I don't think is bad, by the way. I don't think Hades is bad. Like people have given Hades a bad rep for a while because I don't know, S1MPLE is better than him, but it was is that really a reason I'm mad at him? He was more than serviceable on Ents.
Yeah.
No, he was never bad. He was never bad, and I think people kind of weirdly think that about him. But it just what it says to me is did you get another Polish guy because you're just trying to make this like a Polish project now? It's kind of weird that G2 is leaning into that even heavier now. And one thing I'm just gonna quickly address is that so many people kept repeating this ad nauseum, this get Grix because he was on that Aurora team.
Okay.
It's just it's just this absolute nobody right now. Grix, this guy could be good. He's like a 19-year-old that played for the Aurora lineup because Aurora kind of everybody got benched because Eternal Fire took their spot on their own roster. People are saying, people should just look at Grix and pick him up. It's I watched the Grix demo, he's pretty good. I mean, his pistol and rifle are totally solid. but like he just doesn't get flashed, and his rating is pretty much the same as Hades against top 50 teams. In fact, if you look over the last 12 months, Hades is actually better versus top 50 opponents, and he has like 100 more maps than him. So it's like, I'll take the known quantity in Hades. I'm just addressing like a weird like subsect of Twitter, and also Dust told me like to get Grix, and I was like, I don't even know if anybody's watching this guy, and so I actually took the time to watch Grix.
Who told you?
Dust said
a man called Dustin Moret.
Dust said Grix also, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this guy. I watched a demo of him today, and it is literally just noob farming because nobody's flashing him. It's like this is not really that good of a demo, honestly. So yeah, I am outing all the people that are going for Grix today when I took the time to watch a demo of him off stream, didn't even make a YouTube video, just purely love of the game.
By the way, go on.
Listen, taking advice from like GMing advice from Dust is like taking advice about the wilderness surviving from a person that hasn't even camped in his own backyard.
That's not bad. It's not bad, actually. It sounded like he was going to fail it, but he sort of stuck the landing, Maui. That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was good off the dome.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. He was spitting. He was spitting. No, here's the thing. I'll raise your hot take because I'll combine some of the things said in this episode. Here's the thing, Kassad. The real thing that disturbs me about G2 is, like, as we've said, if you think of the status of the org in esports and also the funding of the org and all the success they've had in other games, you would think their number one goal is be the best in CS. So they can, and by the way, technically in CS you can be number one. You can't be number one in League of Legends. Like, there's always going to be Koreans and Chinese people that are better than you. I will say one more than that. I'll take your take and raise it. If you are really getting $2-something million for Monacy, mate, don't just get fucking Simple. Here's what you do. Get Simple and Kiyosuke. Get them both, mate. Re-up and actually go for number one. It's a gamble, but fuck it. Buy those two players. If Simple doesn't work, whatever, you let him go. It's not going to be that expensive. Kiyosuke guy's expensive, but he could be the future. Imagine if you actually had a roster with like fucking Hunter IGL, Heavy Gun. Like, you could make this team, mate. That team would actually, it'd be a crazy gamble. No one knows if it'd work, but like, if that's the sort of team that could actually be like, be a number one contender, like, that could be unreal.
Not to mention the money you could be making back with Simple's fucking
absolutely
being marketable as hell.
Oh
right?
my god, the jerseys.
Just imagine the amount of fucking jerseys they would sell.
You know, at the end of the year, they do that thing, Kassad. On Liquipedia, they put out a graphic at the end of the year that shows who is the most searched. Bro, he is more searched than Ziwu when he wasn't playing the game. And Ziwu was like the MVP candidate every tournament. That is the most. That player would be crazy marketable, mate. Yes, of course. You would get a lot. You'd even make a lot of money as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and even what do you call it? Simple himself said that the buyout is going down more and more, right?
Yes. No, so that's why we're saying, by the way, that's to tie it to the last point. That's why Na'Vi aren't idiots. People are going to think they are, Kassad, because they're like, why didn't you sell him earlier? Because if you'd have sold him for cheap, what if he actually then becomes insanely good and you've just given away the most marketable and one of the best players? You'd be an idiot. Like, their gamble of sort of holding and like bluffing that like, hey, we'll keep him, we won't sell him unless you come with megabucks. That wasn't a bad idea last year. Someone might have bitten. It wasn't impossible. But at the end, they're not idiots. They're not going to let him go for free at the end. You're just going to sell him for like a few $100K.
They're going to end up selling him at the end of the day, like, to make some money. Nobody's
just makes sense for everyone. Yeah. But I agree with you. It'll be way lower. It won't be millions of dollars. Come on. It'll be like $500K or $700K or something.
Yeah. Depending on the length that's remaining on the contract. Yeah.